If you had to pick one buzzword or concept that's just going to dominate our LinkedIn feeds or the HR space in 2025, what would it be and why?
I mean, you have to say AI. There is just so much emphasis on it in general business and in HR. Everyone is wondering, and it's interesting, right? Like the general business part is like, how is your business leveraging it? How are you preparing your teams and organization and employees to use it? And then the HR side is like, well, what tools exist to optimize our work as well? And if you're not using it, you're behind. So look, employees are using it every day. It's pretty much at your fingertips. It took me a minute last year to realize that Google Gemini was populating those responses at the top of every Google search. And I was like, oh, there it is. And now it's happening. It's everywhere, which is cool. I do appreciate that. So I think we have to figure out, I'm not anti-AI. I think it's more just figuring out like what's its rightful place. The best tools are chosen with a distinctive need in mind and to really reflect on what's truly right for disruption versus what's too much, where we just flooding the airwaves. And that's not helpful, right? So AI applied in a curated way, and it is always going to be the best path to leading to the most adoption and honestly the most effectiveness, because that's really why people are excited about it, right? Is the opportunity to be more efficient and productive. And not but, it doesn't absolve us from the roles we're all uniquely positioned to play, right? And running our day-to-day efforts. It's not like we just let every, AI take over. It's a tool. So.
I think that's a great one. There's this podcast I listen to. It's called My First Million, kind of a corny name, but it's these two guys who are successful entrepreneurs. One of them used to run the newsletter The Hustle. The other one, I can't remember what his company did. But anyways, they have this really great podcast. And one of the guests that they had on recently was the CTO of HubSpot. I can't remember his name. I used to work there.
Is it Whitney Sorensen?
No, it's...
Oh, Dharmesh.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
And so he's building another company at the same time as being, the CTO of HubSpot. And it's this idea of building AI agents. So, right now, if we think of ChatGPT as like a single agent, there's all these like point solutions that, that you can create with ChatGPT. Like imagine a world where all of those are Legos and you're using all of these Lego pieces to like string something together. So let's say for any given process, there's 10 steps and you have like 10 different bots that you've created. The idea of being able to connect them all and being able to prompt the human to intervene at the necessary step in the process. I think like that's the next iteration of where we're going. I don't know what that looks like for HR. And so I wrote about this in the newsletter the other week and somebody responded to my email saying like, hey, like what companies are doing this for HR? I don't know. So this is more of just like, hey, if you're listening to this and you know somebody doing this, let me know. And I want to respond to this guy and tell him. But yeah, I think that's where we're heading. So if you're late to the party and haven't even jumped on ChatGPT or Gemini or
Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah, or what's Anthropic?
Everybody's got some.
I forget what theirs is called. But yeah, like just go in there, play with it. Like if you don't figure that out, you're going to be so far behind when the next iteration comes. So I love that one.